So the kiss has finally happened. What's gonna ruin it? Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to Lucifer, Season 2, Episode 12. And first thing you may be noticing is this is a couple days late. Well, if you hadn't heard yet, back on Tuesday I just was unable to record anything. Circumstances beyond my control, to put it simply. I just didn't have the opportunity because of that. And so I moved things around a little this week. The things that were normally on Tuesday had to be moved to both Wednesday and Thursday in terms of Fire Force on Wednesday and now this on Thursday. And we had to put a movie onto Thursday, an extra movie onto Thursday today as well. So, yay. But that also means I have a lot to do today, a lot of recording. Because I have this, I have Scavenger's Reign, I have 2 movies, and it's like, the 2 movies are the big thing. It's like, that's a lot of time. So because of this, we're going to keep these pre-thoughts short. But I did just want to touch on one topic here. So as I said in the cold open, I'm expecting something to ruin this relationship because this is like pretty much every television show, let's be completely honest here. Whenever a romance comes into play between our main male and main female character, which is obviously set up from the start to happen, they're going to get together and then it's going to kind of like, oh, they're going to have troubles, they're going to break up, they're going to their relationship's going to be on rocky status for a while. And it's only by the very end they actually truly get together. Like, in a complete way. I genuinely have no reason to believe otherwise with this show. Like, this show follows a lot of those kind of same tropes that pretty much every television show, sitcom or otherwise does. It does a lot of these same things, right down to the fact that pretty much every episode is kind of its own separate thing for the most part, outside of like a little bit of ongoing narrative. But again, pretty much every show does that. Even when there is an ongoing narrative, most episodes will still be their own, like, in this case of the week situation. And it's actually more common in animation to get a more actually serialized show. But even then, a lot of times those shows will at least start off more episodic. Owl House being a great example of that. But sometimes you'll find a series that just is fully serialized, like Scavenger's Reign. And I just personally kind of prefer that more, where there's like the ongoing narrative is just the entire thing, and it's not like, oh, you also have to have this thing of the week situation going on. One Piece has obviously been doing that for like over 25 years. So it's just a matter of personal taste in that regard. And I'm not saying I hate episodic stuff, not at all. Obviously, I'm still very invested in this. But the stuff I'm invested in the most with Lucifer is absolutely the side stuff, or the ongoing narrative stuff. I almost do not care about any of the case of the week things. Like, they don't matter. But we'll see how things go. We'll see if their relationship really does, like, falter and crash and, you know, just end up like every other one in TV history. Which it probably will, especially with, you know, all the interference from Lucifer's mom. But let's just see whatever the fuck is going on down in this episode. So, let's get to it. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So somehow the professor poisoned her, but when? I don't know how it would have been when he, like, cut his throat or anything. I don't know. But at some point she was poisoned. And unfortunately, like he said, it's like designer antidote and everything. So only he knows the specifics of it. And I mean, a cure could be made, but would it be made in time? A lot of questions in regards to that. But I guess that's something we got to figure out next time. For the time being, we have this entire manufactured conflict with Lucifer finding out that Chloe was put in his path, and that's why she, has the ability to, like, resist his powers and everything, and even take away his powers, his resistances. He knows all this now, despite Maze trying to stop it in the end, which, good for her. Good job, Maze. I don't know how this is supposed to help, the mother at all. It's like, why do you think this is going to help you, like, be a family again? This actually feels like it would do the opposite, right? Because that's her goal. She wants them all to be a family again. She wants the family situation to be restored. And Lucifer to go back with her. This is not going to do that. Like, her entire idea is, like, I guess, if he doesn't have this connection to Earth anymore, this is his biggest connection, then he'll be willing to come back. It's like, this is just going to turn him against you guys. Like, do you not understand that? This is going to make him hate you guys specifically. It's like, this is going to have the opposite effect that she thinks it's going to have. And it's like, oh my gosh, she's kind of dumb. But on top of it, this entire thing is like a very manufactured conflict in the first place. Because we know it's not going to stick. It's so... everything does this. All of these shows, when you have, again, a main male character, main female character getting together, having a relationship, they have to throw in some manufactured conflict that would not exist otherwise. That, in this case especially, could not exist otherwise. Just to have, like, there be some conflict and not let their relationship get off the ground in a believable way. Because, I mean, having conflict, you have to have conflict in shows and movies and stuff to some degree, because it's what keeps people invested. But I've never understood how this kind of manufactured conflict works, because it's so unnatural. It's not believable. And this is not just obviously a problem with Lucifer. This is a problem with all of these kinds of shows. So I'm not saying like it's a huge fault here that's going to make me turned away from Lucifer. No, I kind of expected this going in. It's just... It's one of those things that all of these shows do, but it never works. Because it never makes sense. It has to be, like, they have to throw in some kind of, like, crazy twist, basically, to manufacture, like, an issue, because otherwise it's like there wouldn't be any issue with this relationship, and they think that in order for people to stay engaged, there has to be an issue with this relationship, which is stupid as fuck. I think it's part of the reason why so many like romance anime and stuff, and just I guess shows in general, kind of play around with the will they won't they idea, because these creators think that that's more engaging somehow than just having a couple, be together and be cute and be like, wholesome. And it's like, I don't know what the general public thinks about this, like, overall, but I can say for sure that it's like, I would rather watch a love story like Ore Monogatari, where the couple get together really early on, like the beginning of the series, and the entire rest of the series is just about them being together and being cute. It's like, that's more of an actual romance anime. When you have like a series, and again, it's not just anime, but any series where it's like you play a lot with the will they won't they stuff, it's annoying because it's manufactured. It doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel real. It's like Chloe and Lucifer getting together this early, like only season 2 out of what, 6, is actually really good. But having to throw in this like random conflict for the sake of having a random conflict, it doesn't feel believable here. It feels entirely like falsified. And I'm only hoping this is resolved really quickly, because though I have a feeling this is going to be a thing for the rest of the season. But I'd rather it be resolved like within the next episode, especially with now Chloe being poisoned, because it's annoying. Because we know it's not going to last. We know that Lucifer and Chloe are going to end up together. It's like it comes across as a waste of time. And it doesn't, again, it doesn't feel natural. And so much of this show and so much of these interactions feel a lot more natural. So when you throw in something like this, it just... Of course, I haven't been a fan of this entire mother plotline in the first place. I think it's honestly like some of the weakest stuff this series has done, to be fair. Because it feels so forced and unbelievable. It just feels like, again, manufactured conflict for the sake of having it, rather than like what actually should or would be happening. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. I don't know what people tend to think of this storyline overall, because, I don't know any spoilers, and that includes like people's thoughts. Because people don't really talk about this currently. They talked about Lucifer a lot more in the past, but I was ignoring it back then. So yeah, I don't know what people think of this. All I know is that, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this. In terms of case of the week stuff, I liked this one more than most of them, specifically because it is continuing off of something from the last episode, but also it doesn't end here. It's continuing on past this episode. Even if, like, this professor, committed suicide because he was a psychopath. I wouldn't normally say that about a person who committed suicide, but he literally didn't commit suicide out of, like, depression or anything. He did it to prove a point, and it's like, oh my god, you are just a crazy person. It's like, this dude is, like, just straight psycho. And it's like, okay, sure. But, yeah, this is an ongoing narrative, and I don't think he was the person who was, like, dealing with the drugs and everything with Jamie Kennedy's character. I don't think he was. I think that was someone else. I think this is, gonna be a bigger conspiracy than we've seen so far. And I'm very curious to see where this goes. But yeah, throwing in this entire, like, mom plot and her trying to ruin Lucifer and Chloe's relationship is just like, if it just doesn't fit with everything else, it just doesn't work. It's so fake. It's so manufactured. I would really rather be focusing on all this other stuff just without that aspect. And it's like, it's not even a case of like, oh, I just want Lucifer and Chloe to be happy together. Although I do. But that's not the reason I'm like so focused and upset on this. It's literally because it doesn't feel natural, doesn't feel believable. For the characters, for the story, for any of it. It's forced conflict for the sake of forcing a conflict. And I know I'm just repeating myself at this point. I understand that, but it's like, that's just, I'm focusing on it so much because it's like, it's the thing that's like at the forefront of my mind after this episode. I'm glad that their like awkwardness kind of like didn't last long though. Their like cringiness, because that could have gotten very annoying. I'm just like curious as to what's going to happen with this afterwards. I'm hoping that saving Chloe here is going to like make him like realize that these feelings are true anyway, even despite her, you know, being put there by God. And it's like, I feel like by this point, it's like, this almost feels like it's also just being manufactured just to bring God into the actual picture. He's probably going to appear by the end of the season. I would wager anything. He's going to appear by the end of the season, and we're going to actually confront him. I bet anything, because this entire like forced storyline feels like it's setting up for that. As for what's going to happen with that, I don't know, but I just want more shows to stop playing around with these romances and just let them fucking happen already. And again, I'm not blaming like solely this series on this, because everything does this. It's so pervasive in any kind of series that has like a main male and main female character romance like this. Everything does it. Like, even Supernatural played around with this shit, even though, like, Dean and Sam's romances in there, like, kind of just switched around randomly, like, to various people at times. That was, like, it did it differently, but still played around with things. And Supernatural absolutely just manufactured conflicts at various points. But, yeah. Either way, I'm definitely curious to see where this goes, but this is kind of a weak point for me at the moment, so let's hope it gets better, and we'll see what happens next time. In the meantime, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode of Lucifer, and for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.